All right, let's just jump right into it. I literally just finished watching the explosive Season 3 premiere of Silo, and wow, we have got to unpack everything they just threw at us. We've all been waiting to see what happens after Juliette went over that hill, and what we actually got is a total masterclass in shifting the stakes. It's not just about what is outside anymore, it's turning into something far more sinister. I mean, did you catch that absolutely jarring shift right at the beginning? Our hero, Juliette, is back in Silo 18. And get this, she's the mayor now. But here is the terrifying hook. Her memories of everything that just happened to her outside, they are completely gone. She's waking up from nightmares, having massive panic attacks, and struggling to piece together a puzzle where half the pieces have been deliberately stolen right out of her own mind. So, Part 1. The cost of survival. Specifically, Juliette's return and her missing pieces. We're watching a heavily scarred Juliette just kind of going through the motions. While she's brushing her teeth, she notices these intense burns and scars all over her body, but she just can't connect the dots on how they got there. But then we get to her very first council meeting. A newly appointed shadow for the head of supply, Orla Kent, utters this incredibly simple phrase to defend her department. She says, "We are good in supply." I literally couldn't believe it when she said this because it's this tiny, seemingly innocent trigger that finally sparks a flash in Juliette's wiped mind. It triggers a memory of her friend Shirley delivering a hidden scroll from Martha right before Juliette was sent out to clean, ending with that exact phrase. You can literally see the cracks in the memory blocks starting to form. Moving on to Section 2. Enter the before times, where we get a glimpse before the silo. Because the show completely flips the script here. Suddenly we're in Washington, D.C., long before anyone ever lived underground, and we're piecing together the origins of the collapse. Notice how they introduce this intense dynamic between Congressman Daniel Keene and his sister Charlotte. Charlotte is totally paranoid, changing subways, avoiding tails. She's pushing Daniel to get on Senator Thurman's Iran committee so he can leak intel to a journalist. And why? Because Daniel has a team of 500 Army engineers who have just invented cutting-edge deep earth drills. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds suspiciously like silo building tech to me. Meanwhile, Charlotte is a naval aviator about to go on a highly classified bombing run. It is this incredibly tense political chess game playing out right before the world seemingly ends. Which brings us to Section 3, the nanoparticle cloud. Basically, the mission going horribly wrong. We really need to talk about Charlotte's bombing run because it was probably the most visually insane and confusing sequence of the whole premiere. Here is exactly how it played out. Charlotte's F-35 jets are flying high up at 50,000 feet, following missiles fired from the USS McCain. But then, they fly straight into this mysterious storm cloud, and it is definitely not weather. The cloud is actually made of these bizarre nanoparticles that instantly infiltrate the planes, completely destroying their tech and causing a catastrophic crash. We don't know who made these particles, but they changed history forever. Charlotte survives, sure, but as we quickly find out, she wakes up with a severe traumatic brain injury. Okay, Section 4. Gaslighting Mayor Juliette, the council's deception. Jumping back to the present day in the silo, it is just infuriating watching Robert and Camille manipulate Juliette while her memory is wiped. They're absolute masterminds at rewriting the truth right to her face. They tell her Bernard died from a safeguard protocol poison in the airlock. The actual truth? Robert literally choked the severely burned Bernard to death with his bare hands. They tell her she survived the fire outside because her standard suit failed while Bernard's burned. Nope, the truth is she survived because she was wearing a modified firefighter uniform from Silo 17. And the absolute worst part? They've rigged her supposedly private mayoral room with hidden cameras. They're watching her every move from the watcher room, constantly testing her to see if she's faking the amnesia. It is a terrifying masterclass in gaslighting. This leads us right into Section 5, the timeline convergence, or the weaponization of memory. This is the absolute core of this whole explainer. You have to realize how these two completely different timelines, literally generations apart, are telling the exact same story about stolen minds. When you put their stories side by side, it blows your mind. Look at Juliette being fed these quote-unquote vitamins under orders from the algorithm to chemically suppress her memories of the outside. Now compare that to the before times, where Charlotte wakes up at the Heidi Stenson Clinic. And by the way, that's a clinic explicitly specializing in brain issues and Alzheimer's. She wakes up and has absolutely zero memory of her own brother Daniel. Both timelines are anchored by women who survived impossible odds, only to have their memories entirely erased. It totally proves the system wasn't just some messy reaction to an apocalypse. The control of human memory was baked into the plan from the very beginning. But, the system isn't perfect. Their control is definitely slipping. The plot really thickens when a group of rebels known as the Outsiders, the ones following the fugitive Kennedy, pull off this brazen raid on Level 19 IT. They steal a helmet and drop a massive, highly provocative banner that reads, "The display is a lie." When Juliette goes to inspect the crime scene, reading those words acts as another massive trigger for her. Suddenly, she gets this vivid flash of the lush, green exterior of the outside world and the city out on the horizon. The silo's grip on her mind is really starting to crack under the weight of the truth. And finally, Section 6, the secret chowder message, a spark in the dark. Things are just reaching a total breaking point here. Camille consults the algorithm, which basically orders her to instantly double Juliette's memory suppression meds to ensure she stays docile, making sure she forgets her entire mission to disable the safeguard protocol. But right when it seems like Juliette is permanently trapped in this chemical fog, the episode drops a massive jaw-dropper at dinner. I genuinely gasped when she pulled this hidden scroll right out of her chowder. Someone is actively trying to reach her. It has to be Martha, or maybe someone else from the Down Deep who knows the authorities are calling the shots and desperately wants her to wake up. This secret message is the exact lifeline Juliette needs to break out of it. So that leaves us with a genuinely terrifying realization. This brilliant dual timeline structure shifts the entire focus of the show. We aren't just sitting around asking what's outside anymore. If they can rewrite history inside a single person's mind so completely and effectively, we have to ask a much darker question. How much of the silo's official history is completely manufactured? Like, is anything they actually know real? Think about that as we head into the rest of the season.